Do you want to know who the big bettors in Vegas are getting down on today? I'm talking about the guys in betting syndicates who can move the lines, the guys who hammer a game hard 20 minutes before kickoff. Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here, General Manager of the world's largest online sports gambling community, PickNation.com. You want the inside scoop direct from Vegas? Well, I've got it for you with our revolutionary new service, Insider Money Moves. And now you can get a 3-day free trial to check it out at PickNation.com. With Insider Money Moves, we get the plays of Vegas's heavy hitters direct from our contacts and sources in sports books around town. And now you can get them for free for 3 days with our trial of Insider Money Moves. I've been a professional sports handicapper, guys, for over 25 years. In that time, I've heard a lot of guys claim to have the inside scoop and late steam moves from Vegas. Trust me, they never did. Insider Money Moves is the real deal. 96-69 in football last season. Get a 3-day free trial now at PickNation.com. Welcome back, everyone, to the Countdown to Kickoff show. Al DeMarco here along with Steve Budin. Remember, if you missed any portion of today's show, you can go over to the website and catch it in its entirety. And we are going to continue breaking down your games here in just a moment. First game we're going to talk about is Oakland, Minnesota. But Steve, all season long we've talked about fantasy football. We are active fantasy football league players. Here we have, in conjunction with DraftStreet.com, one of the coolest contests that we've ever had. $1,000 up at stake, guys, for this week's contest, and it is a limited entry. Only 100 players can enter this contest. Now,
so
guys,
if you're number 101, just to be clear, you're out. You're not in the contest, so the time to get there is right now and sign up.
And here, just telling you everything on the table, guys, it's going to cost you a whopping $11 to enter this contest. But why this $11 is important is this reason. First of all, it's a $1,000 contest, okay? First place, $300 in your pocket. Second place, $210 in your pocket. Third place, $150. Fourth place, finisher, $110. But also,
big butt.
Big butt. Oh, I hate this part.
Mel Carter's butt.
But here's the deal, guys. Anybody that does better than me among you out there in this week's contest, you win $10. Now, considering that 2 weeks ago I finished 237th in one of our free contests, and considering last week I finished 161st in one of the contests.
But you notice they didn't make it if they finished before me, because I finished about 100 places behind you. So there's no chance that I was going to win.
So if you do better than me, and you'll be able to see my team as well drafted, you win $10 automatically. So you've got the top four finishing, again, winning $110, $150, $210 or $300. It's a $1,000 cash contest. It costs you $11 to enter. You just go to the website, you click on the fantasy football link with DraftStreet.com, and that gets you into the contest. Again, $11 post-up fee. The great thing about these contests, you've got until 1 o'clock Eastern time on today's games to finalize your roster. You're picking a couple of quarterbacks, a couple of running backs, a couple of wide receivers. You're hopefully picking a better team than I did with that mythical $100,000 bankroll, and it pays out after the Monday night game between Kansas City and New England.
Right, so just to be clear, we're talking about this week's games only, because a lot of times in fantasy football, you're under the assumption that you're talking about a continuous, all-season-long contest. This is weekly contest at DraftStreet.com. That's what makes it so unique. That's why gamblers love it so much, because really, at the end of the day, it's action.
Yeah, and the other thing that you have to realize is people say, well, isn't this gambling? No, this is considered a game of skill. That's why U.S. players can be involved. That's why credit cards are taken. I think, that's the beautiful thing. And as you said, it's instant gratification. So again, it is only open to 100 of you. The first 100 you get in the contest. And again, first place is $300. $210 to second place, $150 to third place, $110 to the fourth place finisher, and every one of you that does better than me, you get $10. We're going to lose a fortune the way I'm picking these games.
Yeah, and just so you know how to enter the contest, you come to our site and you'll see the big ad there that'll say Al DeMarco's Fantasy Challenge. You click on it and it'll have all the instructions right there. You'll eventually click over to the Draft Street site where you'll sign up and hopefully win the contest.
I've had a great football season in terms of wins and losses on the field.
And that's all that counts.
That's all that
I care about.
Yeah, well, that's all that I care about, too. However, I'm the guy that has to sit here and do this show every week. I really don't want to finish like 97th in this contest this week.
I think I need to get a crew just for my fantasy football now.
Okay, guys, that's the deal there for fantasy football this weekend. Again, go to the site and click on the ad, and it's a real easy thing to enter, and it'll take you less than 10 minutes to draft your team. Next game is going to be Oakland, Minnesota. The Raiders coming off the road win against San Diego, which snapped their two-game skid. Carson Palmer, a strong game. Vikings coming back home after the short week, getting blown out 45-7 at Green Bay on Monday night. Raiders, a slight road favorite. I'm not surprised. I guess, you have to make Oakland as the slight favorite here. However, this is a Raiders team that you never know what you're going to get from week to week.
Yeah, for the mini defense going from Aaron Rodgers to Carson Palmer, kind of like going from Mike Tyson to Michael Spinks, although Carson Palmer is getting a little better each week, slowly coming out of his coma. I think he's in a ripe spot here. I think he finally knows the system. I'm going to go with Oakland here, minus the 1.5 points.
Well, this is going to be my best bet today, guys, and yes, it's not as big as last Sunday's winner on the Bears, but that was only the 8th time in my career I had a 30-dime release. This is a 15-dime play, and with these 15-dime plays in football, college basketball, NFL, dating back to the start of the preseason, these are my bread and butter plays. I'm 24-12 so far, and bottom line in this business, people get so wrapped up in the winning percentages, but a winning percentage comes into play when you're talking about your highest rated play. You cash in 67%, guys. I'm sorry, that will make you money. It's made me money, and this is going to be my best bet. And I will say this about the Vikings. Before the Green Bay game, and I had the Packers, Vikings were 2-0 against the spread, 1-1 straight up with Christian Ponder at their quarterback position. This Raiders defense hasn't been able to stop anybody all season, especially on the road. So I think it has value being a pick-'em game. I like, of course, one side more than the other. That's going to be my best bet on the card. Next game is going to be Detroit, Carolina. This Carolina team lost to Minnesota 2 Sundays ago at home. Ponder in his first road start getting the win for the Vikings in that one. Last week, they just no-showed against Tennessee, manhandled by the Titans in that game as Tennessee rolled in this one. This is going to be the first road game for the Panthers in 5 weeks. Of course, I went against Detroit last week. Chicago was my biggest play of the year, and only the 8th ever big play like that, sizable release of my career. Can the Lions rebound? I think there's a problem here when you have Matt Stafford throwing the ball 66 times.
I mean, his arm must be like my grandmother's arm at the Bellagio after she's pulled the slot machine all night. It's got to be ready to fall off.
Well, they don't have a ground game, and that's the problem with the Lions. However, they do have a defense. You saw last week that Tennessee contained Cam Newton. They sacked him 5 times in that game, forced him an interception. Really his worst game so far of his rookie season. The key for Detroit today is going to be their defense. I think the Lions are the play here, but I'll tell you what, I don't have a lot of confidence in their offense right now. But this is, Cam Newton, who has been the master of engineering backdoor covers as well for Carolina.
Yeah, and Detroit, they may have a little bit of a look-ahead scenario going to play on Thanksgiving, obviously, against Green Bay. That's a big game for them. The first time in 10 years they actually have a chance to win on Thanksgiving. But look, at the end of the day, I think the word is out on Cam Newton. I think what happens in Week 11 is at this point, defensive coordinators have looked at so much film that they really devise a good plan against certain quarterbacks. We know Cam Newton, got to get him in 3rd down and long. If you get Cam Newton in 3rd down and long, you're going to beat the Carolina Panthers. I think Detroit can do that. They've got the defense to do that. They know what they have to do. I think they'll do it. They'll execute. They'll win this game and cover.
Yeah, I agree with you, too. I think Detroit is the way to go, and I think the other thing is that, this Carolina defense has been shredded by injuries this year, weak linebacking core. Even though the Lions really don't have anybody great at running back, they should be able to dink and dine their way through that middle seam of the Carolina defense, and anybody should be able to run the ball on Carolina. So I'm in agreement with you. I would go with Detroit as well. Guys, again, remember, if you missed any portion of today's show, you can catch it in its entirety on our website, which you see here online on the show at the bottom of the screen. And also, remember, the final games here on the board, Dallas, Washington, St. Louis, Seattle.
The big games.
And that little Sunday night game between the Giants and the Eagles. You go right now online to the site, and that's where we've got the final portion of today's show. So if you happen to be watching us on Fox Sports, on DirecTV or Dish Network, etc., guys, go online, catch the final 10 minutes of today's show where we break down those final 3 games. Otherwise, for Steve Budin, Al DeMarco, this has been week number 11 of the NFL season, our countdown to kickoff program, and we will be joining you again next Sunday as we continue to break down the games from an ATS perspective.